Welcome to Action Energy Market Global podcast. My name is Tarja Teppo. I'm the founder of Action Energy Finance. In this video podcast, we interview people that work with clean transition. We highlight solutions and stories behind them and explore project financing options utilized. All right, and today to AEM Global Studio, we have Florian Kruse from EVIA AERO, which is a sustainable aviation company based in Germany, correct?
Hi, Tarja. Yeah, that's correct. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Yeah, it's great. This is, you are the first sustainable aviation company that we have in the podcast, and I don't actually know how many, similar companies are around because this is, important area. And why don't we start with how did you actually come to? You are the CEO and the founder, so how did EVIA AERO? How did it come about? What's your path from founding the company? What happened before, and what brought you founding the company?
Yeah, Tarja was before a CCO, a Chief Commercial Officer at a German airport, responsible for aviation and non-aviation business. So for the airline contracts and the route development, so the growing passenger numbers, and on the other hand, the non-aviation business. So everything regarding real estate, food and beverage, but also landlord and parking, all that stuff regarding the whole ecosystem of an airport. So this was the beginning for the last 1.5 decades of my life, my business life, and before I was a professional in marketing and sales. So we had then this time starting Corona, where we see that aviation changes.
Yeah.
It even changed before. We have this climate discussion in aviation. There was pressure on the airports, on the airlines. There were goals from the European Union, from the UN, whatever. And step by step, we saw it's getting worse and worse. And Corona was more or less the kick in the ass, to be honest, to be sure that we have to change something. Because we saw even before that passenger numbers will not grow further on for smaller airports. I don't talk about the large hubs. I don't talk about Helsinki or Copenhagen or Frankfurt airport. I talk about the secondary airports all over Europe and in this world. So what happens? Passenger numbers coming down, routes were cut, flag carriers like SAS, like Air France, like Lufthansa, like Turkish Airlines left markets of smaller airports. First of all, because of Corona, to save their companies. But we saw then that these times, the good old times, will not come back. Why? Because business travelers learn before to use this medium where we are talking about. They learn to use Zoom, to learn Teams. And as a company CEO lady, for example, make sure that your salespersons will have the first 1 or 2 meetings online before you send them out to a potential customer.
Yeah.
And the core business for regional airports and hub airlines that fly and connect regional airports is a business traveler, a person who needs to go from A to B in Europe, to have a good connectivity, to have 1 daily, double daily, triple daily, to being connected via the hub to the destination that he needs.
Right.
Oh, and if regional airports were cut off by flag carriers, it's a problem. Because you have shrinking business markets for business travelers, and on the other hand, less connectivity. So it will be less attractive for a business traveler to go with a small airport, because if there is just a 1 daily flight, why should I go? And wait for 5 hours at the main airport to go further on. So makes no sense. This is all over Europe. A problem that could be solved in a niche. Why? Because we had in former times regional air traffic, a lot. Since 15 years ago, there were also in the Nordics a lot of smaller airlines in Europe called Cirrus, called Skywork, whatever, Flybe. We know all of them for many, many years. And they had proved business models, and they were successful for many, many decades. But 15 years ago, two things happened. On one hand, you had the low-cost carriers that pushing in the point-to-point markets and with a really aggressive price structure. Yeah, that wasn't helpful for them, for the small regional airlines. And on the other hand, you have a problem with the technology you use. For example, a Metroliner or a Saab 340 or a Fokker aircraft was not developed further on from the manufacturer side. What did this mean? That means that the price per seat, when you produce a price per seat as an airline operator, is growing. Because you have to have more spare parts, more maintenance, all that stuff. Not good.
Yeah.
There was pressure on the market. And then, on the other hand, people start to hedge kerosene, to hedge fuel, because of prices that were hard to calculate. And besides, more maintenance costs. And the couple of topics that I named was in the result of pushing out of the regional airlines out of the European market.
Yeah.
We see in a lot of other markets, a lot of regional air services. For example, Africa is full of this. USA also.
Yeah.
And a couple of Nordic routes in Sweden and Norway, and even a small number of Finnish routes were supported by the state, by the federal state, because it's more a bus or taxi service.
Yeah, that's how we have it here.
It shrinks down. So that was the scenario for EVIA AERO, where we start, okay, what can we do to help regional airports? Like my one was before. Yeah?
Yeah.
And you can go to Ryanair and say, please give me more traffic. And they will say, yes, I will do, but it will cost some money. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not effective. And if you lean back and think about why regional airports exist, and talk to persons, talk to shareholders, talk to stakeholders all over Europe, it's clear they exist because they are a really important instrument for economic development of regions.
Yes.
Yeah. Smaller regions build airports or operate airports as shareholders, stakeholders, whoever, to connect European economic regions between a plant and a headquarter, for example, or whatever. This is the only way why, or the only reason why these airports exist. Yeah? No one needs a small airport because of Ryanair, Wizz Air, or because of flying to Mallorca, Hurghada, Antalya.
Yeah.
That's not the reason why you support or build the small airports with the money of the people in the country. It's pure tax. Yeah. Support. So it's a problem. So this is the scenario. And after Corona, a lot of airports were nearly bankrupt, have a problem, and the traffic they have before, the connectivity, the airlines, the routes, don't come back.
Yeah.
So that's the scenario. And the only solution for them to go ahead and fulfill their mission of being a forum for economic development is bringing back again regional air traffic to the small airports to help them to connect the unconnected and to help these airports being an important part for the regions in which they exist. Okay, challenge. With the old technology, not possible. With an old Metroliner, you will not win. No reason. It's loud. It's cost intensive. Yeah, it's not a cozy and fancy product. So we look around and saw, okay, sustainable aviation is on the edge. The technology regarding electric aircraft and hydrogen electric aircrafts is so close. It's around the corner. Yeah, it will take us less than 1 decade.
Yeah.
Till we get certificated aircraft in the niche. Yeah, and the niche is small aircraft, starting with 9-seaters, and the next level will be 19-seaters. So I don't talk about the plans that Airbus Industries or Boeing have. Yeah, they're talking about even Airbus. They say, okay, maybe 2035, maybe we'll have a hydrogen electric aircraft, maybe, and before you have to work with SAF, with sustainable aviation fuel, which is, from our point of view, not sustainable.
Yeah.
No one in this world will be able to produce enough stuff with a lot of energy to fulfill the needs of the existing aircraft.
Right. Right.
Because, and this is the truth, if Airbus or Boeing build an aircraft today,
Mm.
yeah, will be delivered tomorrow to an airline. This aircraft have to fly around about 30 or 40 years and earn money.
Yeah.
Yeah, will be 20 years in the main fleet, then maybe 10 years in Asia, 10 years in Africa. And I'm absolutely sure there will be no one in this world that will fuel this aircraft only with sustainable aviation fuel.
Right. Right. Right.
Will not happen.
Mm. Yeah.
Maybe at the big hubs, yeah?
Mm.
But if you go to secondary airports all over this world, it will not happen. So
Right.
this is the truth. So it's the same with the automotive industry.
Mm.
Big players say that they do everything to be as sustainable as they can be,
Yeah.
but they're slow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're absolutely slow.
So what's the solution that, I fully agree with what you just said. So what's the solution that you came up with?
We have an own ecosystem of sustainable aviation because we calculate a lot and thought about having electric 9-seaters from Aviation in USA called Alice aircraft, or a modified Britten-Norman Islander with a hydrogen electric conversion kit from Cranfield Aerospace Solutions. And we start negotiate and talk to the manufacturers. So when can you deliver? How much range? What will it cost? Yeah.
Yeah.
And start to calculate. Interesting calculations. You see how much will it cost per kilowatt hour or by kilogram of gas hydrogen. And to be honest, it will not work. Yeah, it will not work this way because someone have to produce the energy and deliver you the hydrogen.
Right.
And with the energy we saw in crisis times, for example, with Ukraine war, energy prices that are not easy to calculate.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
A lot of visions, a lot of research regarding hydrogen, and the wonderful wish of the European Union or of the US guys to have 1 kilogram of gas hydrogen for $1.
Right.
Will not happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, will not happen.
I think we will need to wait quite a while for that.
Absolutely, or have a look on Europe, also Netherlands. I love Netherlands because they're developing so fast, yeah?
Yeah.
But even on their front door, yeah?
Yeah.
Everyone is talking about hydrogen pipelines and shifting gas pipelines to hydrogen islands. It will take decades. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, fact.
It's a plan that sounds really good on paper, but it's a very challenging feat to do. I agree.
Absolutely. So, and we are happy. Also, EVIA AERO is absolutely happy for every kind of development that helps us to reduce climate crisis. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it will take some time. So we thought about where can be the solution, and the solution is a new relationship between an airport operator like EVIA AERO and a manufacturer like Cranfield Aerospace Solutions or Aviation or Meridian or Tidal or Stralis, whoever.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to rethink about the system of aviation. Why? Because they only can exist together in the future, focused on regional airports. So the airports, most of the airports in Europe, the smaller ones, if they are not part of Finavia or AENA or whoever of the big systems, they don't have money to invest. They know that they have to change their systems. They have some ideas and they're doing what they can. But to invest, for example, in a sustainable PV solar plant, you will need 15, 20, 30 millions of euros to do this investment.
Right.
And this is just a PV plant. But helpful. You can produce your own power, green power, local produced, and the airports have the wonderful opportunity to have land available.
Right. Right.
So, and there was former times always the discussion, oh my God, if we do PV plants nearby airports, what will happen? The pilots will be blinded, yeah? Incredible, it will not work. It's not a problem. You have to have a look for a couple of things. You can calculate. There are software systems that give you a clear view of glint and glare topic. So it's not a problem. And even EASA, so certification company for airports and airlines, said here are the rules, there are regulations. Yeah, if you follow them, no problem.
Right.
Okay, so you can do it. And there is land, like I said, at the airports, inside the fence, airside, that is secure, and that have, in using this land, have a not environmental impact. Because it's grass, normally, this high.
Exactly.
Airports really take care that there are no birds because of bird strike. They take care that there are no boars or rabbits or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not
So in a way, it's an optimal for the.
You're right. So that's the challenge. But they are always a little bit afraid of, like I said, glint and glare could be a problem. And oh my God, my land. So, but you can produce power there. Wonderful. Point one. It makes sense to have power for sustainable aircraft if you have electric aircraft. Yeah? Okay. We calculate, we can do that. What we need else to charge an electric aircraft, it's knowledge about the technology.
Yeah.
Because when you plug into the Alice aircraft of aviation, it will maybe have a peak of 2 megawatts.
Right.
If you bring a peak of 2 megawatts into an existing old school electric system of a regional airport all over Europe, I can tell you the lights will go out, even in the next city. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because electric systems and aerial networks are developed and built at these airports for a couple of reasons. Main reasons are light on, light off in the terminal warm, cold. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't have the load capacity.
A little bit other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And at every airport, you see it all over Europe, they have now problems even bringing charging points for car rental companies.
Right.
It's the same with automotive. There is too less power in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there will be even more less, even if we do the best that we can. So you have to be familiar with the technology regarding this peaks. Yeah, so it's not only plug in and that's it. You have to know how it works, and you have to talk to the manufacturer. And this is why I say it's a new relationship between the manufacturer and an operator like EVIA AERO. Because you have to change data regarding the technology.
Right.
Not only of the aircraft, furthermore of the battery.
Exactly.
Yeah? How we can keep it alive as long as we can.
Right.
And even fly a lot of turnarounds and have a good utilization. What about charging? What about charging in winter times and summer times? All this stuff have to be discussed and have to be shared. It's new.
Yeah.
So if I buy an Airbus, I go to Airbus and say, hey, I would like to have an A319. They said, okay, you can have one, 80 million, whatever. Yeah. What kind of engines do you want? 2 engines. What kind of galley or whatever? It's different with the small manufacturers because they are manufacturers.
Exactly.
They don't build 50 aircraft a month. Maybe they will 3.
Yeah.
Starting with the assembly line. So,
yeah.
Okay. So, very interesting relation between them, operator or aviation company like EVIA AERO and manufacturer. And on the other hand, this relation to the airport. And the airport have to understand that he's no longer alone in this world. Yeah. You have to think also in a commercial way, integrated. Because sustainable aviation, from our point of view, will only work if you have an integrated view on a business case that should be developed together. So the airport got the land. The company like EVIA AERO got the knowledge how to provide and develop electrical system and buffer battery systems, plus charging stations, plus in some cases small electrolyzers.
Right.
Plus the operation of the aircraft with this new technology. So plus the procedures on the ground to make sure that the ground handling is able to operate it. Plus, in the later stage, hopefully get a maintenance company that will have a cooperation, shifting their mechanics from B1 to B2 to make sure that they're able to maintain.
Right.
the
Right.
aircraft. So a lot of topics have to be solved. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it's one of them also sort of how you finance that. You have the fleet financing, you have the charging stations, you have the I don't know if these are swappable batteries or how it works. It would be interesting to I mean that's probably one aspect of it too. How do you
So in our main business model,
mm,
clear business model is to have a known ecosystem for sustainable aviation, and it
yeah,
will not work otherwise. Yeah.
yeah,
And from our point of view, you have to. It's much easier to start from the green field like us
yeah.
than to have an existing operator
Where
who
you
have
would need
to
to
make
adapt it.
sure if you want to start sustainable aviation to have the same different spare parts, all that stuff, two types of maintenance. So calculate it, make sure that you're able to do it. And I give you an example. If we talk about small airport, yeah, regarding land that is able to will be able to lease for us about 10 hectares space, yeah, you can have round about wherever you're in Europe, round about 10 megawatt peak, yeah.
Mm,
So produce, and it will cost you together with the investment regarding the buffer battery, the grid connection, so network connection, net connection, and charging stations will cost you around about roughly 50 million.
mm,
Yeah, pure investment.
yeah,
And EVIA AERO is not only an operator; it's like I said, a sustainable aviation company.
mm,
We are investors.
yeah,
Yeah, this is different. Normally, if you go to an airport as an operator, you ask the airport to give you money. Yeah?
exactly. Yeah. So this
Well,
is really sort of a very different, as you said,
it
very
shifts.
different
So,
approach to it.
right,
It
we bring money to the table, and we do this not as a monopolist. On every airport where we have corporations, we will have a joint venture with the airport.
mm,
Yeah, it's really important for us to be not a standalone here or a monopolist. No, we found joint venture companies directly in the federal state where we are, Finland, Italy, Romania, Bulgaria, wherever, Latvia, to make sure that we have the same interest and we
mm,
share also the same yield and revenue, which is important to be sure that an airport don't have the feeling that we are the grabby company
yeah, 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 yeah.
for the millions. No, but we can invest. And this is different to the airports. Mostly often they have no resources to invest because they had hard times in the last decades and the last years regarding
Yeah.
Corona and other topics. So we invest, we make sure that we have the right technology, that we have the right suppliers. Everything is fixed from our side regarding
Mm,
this. So we have a full ecosystem that have certificated technologies. Yeah. The
right.
battery packs, big battery packs cost more than 1 million, are certificated for the ground. The charging stations are certificated for the ground. The PV panels are certificated, even plus anti-glint, anti-glare
Yeah.
foil out of them. So we know how to do it. And it's
Yeah.
no rocket science. But
Yeah.
you have to be sure that you have the technology and the knowledge how to use it.
Mm,
So from our point of view, Total Energy or BP can also build a PV plant on an airport,
yeah. 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 Yeah.
but they don't have the knowledge how to charge the aircraft right, how to have the ground procedures, all this aviation regarding procedure, EASA, and other technologies stuff is not known. So it makes sense for some airports to work with us.
Yeah.
We share our knowledge. We have a joint venture with the airport. Everyone can get revenue and yield from this part one of our
Mm,
business model. And the second part is to make sure that we have the airline, yeah, and the airline will have an own company. Also, first of all, the asset of the energy ecosystem is besides EVIA AERO company, we have a second one, EVIA Energy Company, that is regarding for this assets of energy solutions, buffer batteries, PV plant, blah blah blah. Then we have the airline company that have the pilots and will have the AOC, so the
mm,
permission to operate civil air transportation. We will found this one when we are absolutely sure that our manufacturers are able to get the certification in the next 24 months. Yeah, so
okay.
we are in close communication with them, clear view when it will happen because you have
Yeah.
to hire post holder, 5 to 8, have to be done, have to be paid. You have the pilots, all the stuff. And if you don't have yet the aircraft, why?
Yeah.
So then
Super.
there's a third company on the second level of our group. It's regarding it's in the aircraft asset company in a cooperation with a big lessor, a lessor from the aviation
Mm.
world, in this normal system where the assets of the aircraft are parked, kind of parked, yeah.
Yeah.
And the EVIA airline company will bring them up via a dry lease up in the air. So we have
Right.
clear offer for that. We know what the aircraft will cost from the view of today, to be honest. We know the operational cost, we know the cost of the lessor per month, yeah. And we see, and this is really important in this game,
Mm.
we know how much our energy will cost.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Exactly.
we don't have to hedge fuel or kerosene, and we don't have to go to the power market and see each month, oh,
Exactly.
what I
Because
got.
you basically the takeoff buyer of the electricity that you're producing
Exactly, and
at the
it's not
regional
it's
airport. So
right, and it's not only us in our system. This is really important. We are not a
mm,
monopolist.
yeah.
As much as competitors are welcome as possible, and I'm sure. First of all, we'll see flight school with full electric Pipistrel aircraft
Mm.
because it's much cheaper to operate electric
Okay. Why is that?
because it's electric. You just have to charge
Mm.
it. Yeah,
Right.
and
Right. Right.
we'll sell them the power for a fixed price so that they don't have
Mm.
to hedge. We can say, okay, we can give you a kilowatt hour for 12 or 15 cents, whatever.
Right.
So
Right.
they can calculate, have no off-gas costs, have for their small leaks regarding a flight school the possibility to have a clear own ecosystem for
Mm.
sustainable flight schools. And then they will be competitors to EVIA AERO, to the operator. Yeah,
Right. Right.
highly welcome. So
Yeah.
then we'll see unmanned aircraft as drones, for example, from Dronamics. Yeah,
Mm.
or other competitors to them, cargo drones, or even other drones in this world. You know, it's hard times
Exactly.
we live in. Drones have to be charged. They
Yeah.
need energy. So
Yeah.
there aren't flying objects regarding sustainable aviation and the next generation or the next decade of
Mm.
aviation that will need this power. And together with our joint venture partners airports, we help them with our investment to be ready for the next decade
Right.
and start this now in the niche. Because
Right.
when the first Britain Norman Islander
Mm. Okay.
will be certificated by EASA after FAA certification, maybe in 2029,
Mm.
the ground systems of the airports have to be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It,
with all the permissions you need and the
exactly.
license you need and all the
Yeah.
other plannings you have to start now in the
Yeah.
niche. That's the opportunity in the niche that we have. No
And that
airport, sorry.
no, sorry to interrupt. So is that so that's what you're developing right now. So as you described, there's these sort of like three separate sort of you could say, you know, um, areas which are you've organized
Yes,
as separate companies, and where it starts is actually making sure that you have the electricity infrastructure in place
right,
and you have the regional airports on board the plan, so to say. So I mean, super interesting, and fantastically ambitious. I mean, and as you described, there's so many moving parts because it's about electricity generation, it's about the fleet, it's about capability of the pilots, the certifications, and so forth. Right now, today, I mean, you described that in 2026 or 7, so that's when in 24 months, so that's when you'll have the first plane that you can actually. Does that mean that that's when the test run starts of the operation, or that's the actual when the commercial management starts? And a continuation question to that: PV parks, or are you now sort of building that network? Where are we today, and where are we in, say, 2 to 3 years? How does it
right.
how does it look?
Yeah. So at the moment we are developing 12 European airports all over this continent. In Eastern Europe, we've got Latvia, Poland, Bulgaria, Romania, Southern Europe, Italy, France, Germany. Also talking to Italians. So there's a lot of development. So,
Okay,
and
great.
they're on different stages. Every one of them is having yet LOIs or MOUs, so where we've got the clear view. What kind of land is available? What about the cost structure? What about our joint venture structure? Because we always make it similar all over Europe regarding once the joint venture structure, twice the shareholder structure, and a third regarding the land lease agreements to have a clear system that can be copy-paste and scaled up. It's really important for us and for our partners. And we'll sign, we're very happy to have a signing ceremony in April, so 3 weeks ago, for the first German airport. Then we've got yet the building permissions at this airport. And when we have building permissions with the main documentation of the authorities, of the municipalities, we need 18 to 24 months to start operating the PV plant with grid connection, because we have to order the steel, the PV panels, so it's normal stuff. Yep.
Right.
Okay. Regarding the aircraft, I told you, when will we start with an AOC? There must be the clear sign of our manufacturer that they are ready in their process. We have a very transparent communication with them and know where they are. Regarding aviation aircraft, there was a demonstrator flight in September 2022, and they go align. They had no wind channel testings, all that stuff. And like I said, it's a new relationship between us as an aviation sustainable operator and the manufacturers, and it's going far. So EVIA AERO is proud to be part of the customer advisory board of aviation starting last month.
Right.
So why they do it with such a small companies like us? Because we know how to handle the charging technology, the procedures on the ground, and all that stuff.
Right.
And this is something they also know somehow, but they're focused on the certification of their new aircraft type. So, okay, have to be solved. Same with Cranfield Aerospace Solutions. They will have the first flight, demonstrator flight, at the end of this year with the Britten-Norman Islander, to have one side with a standard engine on the other one, yet with the electric hydrogen engine. Yeah.
Okay.
We watched this. We share data. We share the way of the certification of the English certification company. So, and if we got this clear sign, it will take really 24 months till there is a stamp. Yeah, and it's getting close. We'll start with the AOC process. This will take maximum 18 months to get an AOC. And you have to have this AOC focused on the new aircraft. So Aviation Ellis aircraft and Cranfield Aerospace, Britten-Norman Islander. Yeah. So till they are not there and exist, no one can give you an AOC.
Exactly.
So the only thing that we could do now is saying, okay, we want an AOC because everyone tell us to have one now. Makes commercial no sense. We can do that. We can do a certification AOC on a Cessna, but it just costs money, and why do that?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Right. But it sounds like if we are now in 2024, so maybe around 2027, is that sort of the if all goes well, so in about 3 to 4 years, that's when sort of the first sort of regional, I don't know what you would call it, regional hoppers, regional aviation could take off. Is that the sort of
that
about
will happen.
the right
From the view of today, this will happen because we get them the certificated aircraft. They will be available from our two manufacturers, but from a lot of other ones too. Yeah, because there are so many companies trying to develop, and I hope that all of them will make it. I'm not sure, but we bet with on Cranfield Aerospace Solutions and Aviation. That's our bet because we think they have the best technology, the best engineering, and the clear plan. So, and it will start. It will start slowly, but it can start in the niche. And I'll give an example. If I just have one or two aircrafts, and you ask me what could be the first wonderful routes to earn money and bring it alive, it's just an example.
Why that route?
6 or 8 times a day because it's so short.
Yes.
It's
Right.
sharp and everyone needs it.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right. 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 That's a good one.
right. Or another example is doing from southern Finland
Mm.
routes to the Baltic states.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
why it's cool? Why there's a market and it's a growing market
Mm.
because the Russian border is closed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Southern
Yeah.
Finland is dead end now.
True.
Yeah, and
True.
a lot of people have relatives or work in Finland or in
Mm.
the Baltics, whatever. There's a lot
Exactly.
of connectivity needed,
Mm.
and you can do it on the ground or on the roads because,
Yeah.
like I said, borders are closed.
Right.
So there are the first solution.
Mm.
This is one truth. Another truth is, and it's always the same picture. If you are still have cheese, yeah,
Mm.
and your famous cheese market is there, and you're early in the morning there, and be the first in line, you're sure that you will get a wonderful piece of your needed camembert. Yeah.
Mm. 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 Mm.
If you are number 15 in the line, there will be no more camembert. It will take time to produce a new one or to get a new one delivered.
Yeah.
And this is the same with our business model and our decisions that we made in the last 2-3 years.
Mm.
Was that we were an early customer, an early mover, and a large customer for Europe regarding aviation and also
Mm.
ground field, with a clear commitment.
Yeah.
Commitment to aviation to order 25 Alice aircraft, electric, and a clear commitment to order 50 British Norman Islander with ground field aerospace
Mm.
conversion kits, plus a commitment of 10 further on.
Yeah.
Ground field aerospace solutions, maybe 19-seater, if they will make a
Right.
conversion of a King Air, for example,
Yeah.
and to make clear that we are the first in line.
Yeah.
Why? Like I said, because Airbus can deliver maybe 30, 40, 50 aircraft a month.
Mm. So you want to be first in the door.
Right. And the small
Mm.
manufacturers, they can't.
Yeah.
It will take time. So you have
Yeah.
to be first in the door, like you said. Yeah.
Mm.
Be sure. And then it will take time, years till you build up your fleet.
Yeah. 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 And to sort of scale up. Yeah.
Right. And it's with our business model, to be honest, it will be easier for us to survive
Mm.
than our competitors,
Mm.
because a couple of years before we get revenue or yield from our
Yeah. You're sort of into power sales.
yeah
So you can do PPAs with some other parties to sort of like offtake of the electricity you produce.
right
Meanwhile, you're sort of waiting for the fleet
you're right, but
to
that's
be
a clear
there.
commitment to do sustainable
Mm.
aviation operation. Yeah, but it helps you to survive these years. And to be
Absolutely.
honest, no one of us knows if the certification will will be done in the year 2027, for example.
Mm.
There could be delay,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and that could kill companies,
Yeah. Yeah. But you
not
have
us.
that buffer then from the
Yeah,
power sales.
yeah,
As a concluding question, I mean, it's a fascinating path. I mean, that you've been building the past 2-3 years, and as you described the upcoming years ahead. If you would need to sort of, if you think back and say, okay, what are the lessons learned today? What is something that I wish I would have known when you started on that path 2-3 years ago? Is there some surprises on the way? I mean, there always is when building a business. That whether it's in the market environment or with technology development, what is something that you would say that you wish you would have known? Could be a timing thing, could be
Mm.
capital expenditure thing.
Interesting questions, and
Mm,
not too easy to answer because, to be honest, we are lucky ones. We have a
mm,
wonderful team. All of them are really focused on a sustainable world. So, and
yeah,
they know why they do that. They're from
yeah,
the aviation business, a lot of experience in the teams. We don't have an employee under 30, so we have
mm,
decades of knowledge and the
yeah,
clear vision and mission to help this world survive from our aviation industry. So,
yeah,
um, on our road, on our track,
mm,
the last 3 years, we learned a lot, and
yeah,
I was surprised about this wonderful possible new relation between manufacturer and operator, or
yeah,
company like us. So this is new,
yeah,
and it has a lot to do with trust and credibility, and
mm,
make sure that you speak the same engineering language too. Yeah, so
Yeah.
this was new for me, but absolutely exciting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm a little bit. I wonder why some airports are slow,
Mm.
because there's no reason to be slow in this world.
Yeah. Is that
Um,
to do with more with the ownership structures, if it's
sometimes
state backed or
there are
federal?
state-owned. It's always a
Mm.
little bit more complicated, to be honest. But from our point of view, they can't wait. Every year they wait longer to get a conversion to sustainable decade of aviation.
Mm. The more difficult it gets
The,
for them.
the, they can be bankrupt
Yeah,
because the
exactly.
investments are huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the world we live in, Europe, is not an easy one
Mm.
regarding energy prices, regarding a lot of topics, regarding
Yeah.
regulations. So it makes sense to speed it up.
Yeah.
And this is something the airports have to understand, and that
Mm.
also the lobbyism clubs of the airports have to understand. And they still
Yeah.
say, no, we can wait, or blah, 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 blah.
So it
So it's
sounds like that there's a fair amount of sort of educational aspect as well, that when you talk to the regional airports, that you basically
right.
present that.
It's an educational part
Mm.
to get them understanding that they only can win.
Yeah, exactly.
Because on one
Exactly.
hand, they are co-owner of the energy systems,
Mm.
joint venture partners. They earn with every kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
They earn with every hectare they lease to our joint venture.
Mm.
They earn start and landing fees with every operator, competitor, whatever.
Mm.
They earn connectivity and never served routes, unserved routes, less served routes that they never have. They got the opportunity to get it.
Yeah.
And regarding their shareholders, they do exactly what is their mission:
Mm.
develop economic. Um,
So
and
there's
this is
a lot
something
of.
where I would love to see more open, clear, open view, because sometimes, right, you have to discuss a lot. It's okay. It's easier with the private owned ones than
Mm.
with state owned ones, but there is also a lot of lobbyism in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or BMW regarding. All remember the
Mm.
Dieselgate.
Dieselgate.
It's a little bit similar in our industry too. Yeah, and you say
Yeah.
SAF SAF is wonderful. There will be not enough SAF for all
Yeah.
this
But
aviation
I
work. Will not
but I
happen.
guess you can sort of also, you can point to the auto manufacturer field. If you look at sort of the change that EVs has had brought in that space, and in a way it seemed for a long time that the change is rather gradual, but then it's like it happens gradually, but then suddenly all at once. And I think listening to what you just explained has probably somewhat similarities. It sort of takes a while for the electric fleet, or the actual planes to get ready, the infra to get ready, but then when it takes off, it's sort of gradually, but then all at once.
I don't know if it will happen all at once. So
Mm.
there are different types of air transportation. So as you know, there is this
Yeah.
eVTOL topic too. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I don't believe on eVTOL markets in Europe.
Mm. Yeah. Okay.
No. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe in Dubai, from Dubai downtown to a yacht. Maybe.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
Maybe
Exactly.
Mexico City. But the rest is a billionaire's bloop. Yeah. That will exploit somehow. Not good for the industry, but it is how it is.
Yeah.
What I see are companies like Dronamic with unmanned cargo drones. And
Mm.
there's a big opportunity, if they are sustainable, and they will be
Yeah.
someday, to help the world survive in a logistic view. Yeah, this
Yeah.
will be really helpful, and there will be more than one. Because, as you know,
Absolutely.
Amazon, Google,
Yeah.
the US guys are really taking care of unmanned aircraft cargo drones.
Yeah. And I think, isn't there quite a lot of development in that area also in Asia? If you look at sort of Chinese cargo drones, I mean, there's been quite a big development in that area. I mean,
Yeah,
if you look at sort of
it
just
is. And it
in
will happen.
Shenzhen, I mean, within the city, that's
It
what
is.
they do already.
Right, and it will happen. So it will
Mm.
not happen at the same year, yeah, but it
Yeah.
will a lot of happen in the same decade.
Mm. Exactly.
Yeah, so and you have to be prepared. And even if you've got the system, like our EVIA AERO systems,
Mm.
you are prepared not only for Britain Northern Ireland or hydrogen, not only for aviation, electric aircraft. You're
Yeah.
prepared for dynamic drones, for example, for eVTOLs,
Mm.
for other cargo solutions, or for drones that takes care for non-civil usability.
Yeah. Yeah. So one could sort of conclude it's exciting times that or exciting decade that we're living in. So I think we wrap up for today. But anyway, Florian, I thank you for opening what's happening in the sustainable aviation area in Europe and the new business model that you're building. What can one say? The regional air transport problematics. How you helping to solve that? So anyway, so thank you for joining the podcast, and we will all follow what happens in the upcoming years with EVIA AERO and the electric fleet. Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot for this nice discussion. If anyone have questions, just mail us, and we will do the best to answer as much as we can.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Taya. Bye.
Thank you for listening. To follow future episodes, subscribe to our newsletter at www.actionenergymarket.com and select Action Energy Market Global Service. We publish new episodes on Fridays. If you are a technology provider or developer in the energy or clean infrastructure area, add your solution to our solution bank.